Hey everyone, welcome back to another Acrylic Asylum painting lesson. I'm Mike Ferris, and in today's video I'm going to be painting on this 8x10 pre-stretched canvas. And to get started, I'm going to use my number 12 round natural bristle brush. This helps to blend colors together very well, and I'm not going to use any water on this, so this is going to be on my palette: raw umber, cad yellow, violet, phthalo blue, and titanium white as always. So I'm going to mix up variations of these colors and just sort of blend them together for a background. So I'm going to take some yellow now and some raw umber to that. This makes an army green when I do that. And then some blue to sort of darken that down a little bit and add more of a green tint to it. Okay, a little bit more yellow, a little bit more raw umber, and a little bit more blue. So it's this light sort of army green, so I'm going to put some titanium white into that now. And again, I'm just going to blend this in randomly and use variations of tones and different colors, sometimes more or less of the other color or more white. So right here I did more yellow and white. As you can see, it changed it a little bit. So just however and wherever, and just putting some right there. Okay, so with some violet now and phthalo blue and some raw umber into that. And essentially raw umber and blue make black, so I'm adding a made black into some violet here to dull that down. And depending on how much of blue or brown I use, it'll determine the side of the violet, whether it's more to the blue or violet side. So however you want to do that. Okay, some more white into that to bring it up. And just going to blend this around, and like I said, just do something like this. Okay, anything you want to do. So now that it's on, I've transferred the image with the traceable image after it dried out, and now I have some phthalo blue and some raw umber. This makes black again, and I've got my 1/4" angle brush, and I'm just going to use the tip of this to get into small areas, and I'll start blocking in his body with this. Okay, with not permanent black, this made black, and with a script liner and lots of water, I'm turning it as I pull it through to a nice point, and I'm going to get into some detailed areas. So the reason I didn't choose permanent black this time is because with this blue and raw umber, I'm going to be able to do highlights on him, and sometimes with black, when light hits it, it brings out this blue tint to it, so that's going to really enhance the glow. So now I'm going to block in the stick that he's on. I have some raw umber, some yellow, a little bit of that black in there. This is a very dark army green, and I'll just block in the stick that he's on. And right here he has this little antenna thing going on. Not sure what it's called, but there it is right there. And again, my script liner with lots of water. Okay, so back to my number 12 flat brush now. I'm taking that same army green color, and I'm going to add some yellow and white into that now to change the value up a bit. And with the edge of the flat brush, I just want to dance that here and there, and I'm not worried about covering up the legs so much. I'll come back in there and put those back in after this. Okay, no cleaning necessary, picking up more yellow and white, and as you can see, it's brighter and more vibrant. And let's hit some highlights and build some more texture with this. Okay, and more white now, no yellow. You can see it's a lot brighter here, and I want to make some very bright highlights here and there, but not everywhere. And right underneath him, I'm not going to put very many highlights, of course, because I want a shadow to kind of show from his body being cast onto the stick here, so I won't go into there with that so much. But at the ends and at the top here, I'm going to go a little bit heavier to show some light hitting it. So now to my palette I've added Cad Orange here, Burnt Umber, and Primary Red. So to start with, I'm going to take some Cad Orange, a little bit of Burnt Umber into that, and with this brown orangey color, I'm going to block in his body with this. Okay, so I added a little bit of this Primary Red into this orangey brown color. So it doesn't change the value much, but just a little bit. And right up here, this is going to be some hairs that are going to come off this top horn here. So now I have my 5-0 round brush. I'm going to take that orangey brown color with some more titanium white into it. So it's just a small round brush like this. It helps me get into small areas. And I'm just going to put in some of these orange hairs here and there. And now back to my script liner brush. Again, lots of water as I pull through that black and come to that point, and let's put the legs in that got covered up. Okay, now I'm picking up some raw umber now and some Cad Orange together. This makes a darker value of orange with my number 2 flat brush, and on the left side of his body here, I'm going to put this darker value in just a little bit and fade that in. Okay, going back to orange now, taking some white and this time some burnt umber instead of raw umber. Burnt umber is more vibrant than the raw umber. Okay, with some yellow and white into that as well. And with this lighter value, I want to take this, and as I bring this up and fade it up, I can also show the curvature as well as some texture of his body on the back here. Okay, now going back into black and titanium white, I want to start some direct highlights on the dark part of his body here. So I'll just bring this down, and this is my number 2 flat brush again. And so with white into this black, it shows this blue hue, which is a realistic reflective shine that happens sometimes when light hits black. You'll see this little blue hue to it. So again, why I decided to take blue and brown to make black. So I'm just going to take and fill in some highlight areas with this for now. Okay, going in my script liner and just titanium white, pulling through to a point again and using the tip. And let's strike some direct highlights here. So with the script liner, I can use this to show texture on the body and how his surface looks with these direct highlights. Okay, again with more titanium white, and I'm going to make these horizontal perpendicular lines to this line I just brought up. And again, this creates some texture and shows some highlights striking him. Okay, back to my number 2 flat brush again, and not titanium white all at once, but just a little bit more white into that black, and just going back in and brightening up these pre-highlights. Okay, and where I want it the brightest and heaviest, I start the paint there, and as paint runs low on the brush, I'm going to drag that down and fade that out into that darker, more faded value. Okay, going back into some more of that orange and burnt umber and more titanium white. This is a hair spot here, and I'm just going to block in real quick with this. Okay, so back to white now and some Cad Yellow. A little teeny bit of that brown orangey color in there, but not much. And it's my script liner brush again, pulling through to a point as I turn it and using the tip again. And let's hash in some of these hair details here. Okay, going back into orange and burnt umber again, now no titanium white. It's a little bit darker as you can see. And again, pulling through to that point and using the tip to hash this value in. And now going into raw umber now. I almost said burnt umber. See, I always get those browns mixed up. But that's only when I'm talking about them. That's not when I'm using them, hopefully. And so going into some darker value now with that orange. And right back here against the darkest part of his claw, I want it darker out there and then sort of streaked forward to show that light is hitting the outer edge of the hairs here. Okay, now just getting yellow and white now, and I want to go on the very edge here. This is going to show some light hitting the edges of the hair. So I'm just going to start a line like this, and then I'll drag that paint in and streak it in with the rest of it. Okay, going into more titanium white now, and just a teeny touch of that black, and again, lots of water on a script liner as I turn it to that point. Let's start filling in the highlight and the definition of this eye. Okay, back to permanent black with my script liner now, and I'm going to roll it through to a point again with lots of water, and let's define some of this eye with this. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to extend the shape of this leg here. Okay, with a clean script liner now, going through titanium white and pulling it through to that point again. And let's strike some direct highlights with this. Okay, see with these highlights I can pop stuff out like that eye, and then right here this shows the edge of the helmet feature on his head like so. So with these highlights against black with this white, you can really show different dimension and shapes and also texture and surface. So see against the legs like this, I can really show the segments and really build these up well and make them pop. Okay, now I've got my number 6 round natural bristle brush. I'm going to tap it into some titanium white, and by tapping I can come in here and tap this on, and by doing this, this also shows texture on his body as well. Okay, and back to my number 2 flat brush. I want it heavier with white on the highlight here because that really shows an edge right there and how the body is changing and how it sort of protrudes out like that on the edge. So that builds dimension. So see with the values of these highlights as well as how we put them on and texture them, it really builds us up and really shows what's going on with this. Okay, so with some black now, let's go in here and let's really define around this eye and where this helmet feature comes in at. So again, more titanium white and not covering up all that blue hue faded color that I put down, but keeping that alive and just brightening up the centers and making this pop even more. Okay, with just paint left on the brush, see just a little bit, and it makes this transparency to this white, and you can still see the orange through it. So this is exactly what I was looking for, and that really helps to build a glow and shine off his back, just like that. Okay, now going into script liner and just permanent black again, pulling through to a point. I want to start building these little doodads or whatever, and dots and just shapes of his body that God gave this awesome creepy crawly that creepeth on the earth. Okay, with a clean script liner now and just titanium white, see I'm going to go in here and I'm going to strike with just these hash lines like this. This shows texture on his body. And I'm going to fade this down as paint runs off the brush, and I'm not going to cover up that faded transparent white, but keep that alive, and see that really pops that shine and glow out of there so well. And now with paint left on the brush, even with my script liner, I can show some transparent white and just strike a little bit of that right there. Okay, and now more titanium white again. Okay, and right here again, I want to enhance the edge of this highlight right like so. And with my script liner, I can drag out the paint even with this, and I can even dance this script liner around and maintain that texture right in here. Okay, going back into some burnt umber and some Cad Orange. Let's go into here now, and I want to take this darker value and hash this value in. Okay, now going into raw umber now, and let's darken that where it's closest to the body. This kind of shows some shadow play a little bit on those hairs and just how light hits the very edge of them, making them brighter. Okay, with a clean brush now and titanium white, just a teeny bit of Cad Yellow and more water as you see there, pulling through to a point. That's very important. And let's strike some hairs on the outside here. Okay, now just titanium white, and see with that yellow in there, that really enhances some sunlight and gives the indication of how those hairs almost in a way get lost in that sunlight. Okay, with more orange and burnt umber and some white with my script liner, I'm just going to hit some of these orange hairs again here and there. Okay, so with that dark army green I blocked in this trunk with, I'm going to take that value and sign right here. And I want to thank you guys so much for all your support and watch time. Don't forget to subscribe for more video lessons I'll be putting out on a regular basis. And if you guys have questions or comments, please leave those down below. And until next time, happy painting everyone.